How's it going, YouTube? We are Pat Mac here, coach of the Sacramento Sand Slash. I'm bringing you the power rankings for the Manaphy of Spades and Celebi of Clubs divisions in the Mythical Mayhem VGC League. I'm joined by CyberSaber. You want to say hello?
Hello.
And I'm also joined by Fiak. You want to say hello?
Hello. Hello, guys.
Yep. And yeah, so we're just going to take a look at all the teams from these two divisions and chat about them. There's 7 teams in each division, and yeah, we'll look at the teams and then rank them at the end. Now, I have actually gone through and looked at the teams and ranked them based on my I don't even know if I necessarily had criteria. It was more like instincts, I guess. It's been a super busy week for me, so I have not gone as in depth in these rankings as perhaps I have on other ones. But we'll look through those. We're looking in draft order, so it's not based on like the order of strength at all, but we'll look at all of the Manaphy of spades, then the Celebi of clubs, and yeah, I don't know, it should be a fun time. I'm looking forward to it.
And let's just mention, this was a joint draft between the two divisions, so don't say like, why wasn't Urshifu drafted in Celebi of clubs? I don't know which one was drafted in, because we're drafting the other one. It was a joint draft, so do keep that in mind as we go through these.
Yeah, that's a really good point, actually. Maybe I could give a little more structure on the Mythical Mayhem League. So this is, I said it was VGC, but I say that only because it's doubles. We're allowing Mythical Mons and Restricted Mons together. There's no Dynamax for this league, and yeah, so we're using the doubles battle tower rules, which allow those Mons to be able to play in a double setting.
And any single movesets are allowed, so anything that can be transferred in from past generations, like knockoff Incineroar, is allowed.
Yeah, exactly, and that makes like some of these Mons a lot stronger.
Long live knockoff Malamar.
Yeah, there's so many cool options that get added here. I think like there's hella Mons that get Tailwind now, a couple more Mons that get Follow Me, and like all sorts of different things that have been added and adjusted, and I don't know, it's really cool. I'm kind of excited for it. I'm hoping that this is more of what we do moving forward, but it's really going to depend on what coaches do, because we always do a vote.
Yeah. Why did Matrix join?
Oh, Matrix, are you here too? You gonna join us?
Have you guys already started?
Yeah, but I mean, all we've done is the intro so far.
Yeah. Yeah, you're welcome to join us.
No, it's fine. That's why I joined in mute, so that I could just listen in a bit. I was just listening to what you guys had to say. I'm currently a bit busy, sorry.
Okay, no worries. Well, okay, so y'all, Matrix is here. He might say some things, he might not, but yeah, we're just gonna roll with it. So anyway, let's start taking a look at the teams. So the first team that was able to draft from this division, one thing I want to kind of keep in mind is that this is very like sprinkled throughout. So I think Fiak's team, the Barcelona Malamads, I think they had like pick 4 or 5. Pick 4. They were 4th pick in this double division.
Maybe you should ask Fiak. He might know.
Yeah, well, actually, the draft started only with 2 months, with Marshado and Togekiss. And I was really busy, and actually my team doesn't look like that anymore, only for week 1.
Mm-hmm.
But I just started drafting some months that I think that can work together.
Mm-hmm.
And I do like the synergy between Togekiss and the Alga, for example, and something going with the Clean Clang and Toxtricity with the minus plus ability. But I think I have to reshape this team. It's not pretty consistent right now. I don't feel it like that, so I made a lot of transactions.
Yeah, and I think I mentioned in call before you joined Fiak, but we're looking at week 1 teams, and I remember you made a couple of transactions. I don't remember what they are off the top of my head, but I don't know. There wasn't a whole lot of time for me to make a lot of adjustments here. But yeah, so this is the team that started out week 1, so we get to kind of rank it.
For those of you observant eyes who have read the rules will notice that there are 3 restricted and mythicals, but we only allow 2. We don't actually count Calyrex as a restricted, even though Pokemon does, because let's be honest, it's not. So, first of all, Marshadow. Amazing Pokemon. Absolutely love it. Hate using it though. Yeah, Marshadow and Togekiss could actually be very fun. Just follow me just Marshadow being really strong. That could definitely be some synergy. Another thing it could be is Thundurus using what's a move? Flatter, or the other one?
Oh, Swagger.
The one where he's attacking. Yeah, Swagger. And then Marshadow Spectral Thieving the boost, so they're left confused and you get the boost.
Yeah, there's some really cool kind of synergies and combinations here. I really like the Marshadow, Togekiss, Dialga combination. I think that those three mons are kind of nice because you have like a really powerful physical attacker, a really powerful special attacker, and then like a very versatile mon in Togekiss.
Togekiss, I believe, gets Tailwind. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, it definitely does.
It gets Tailwind. So yeah, my team is running around those 3 months, and maybe Thundurus, because the thing that I like from Thundurus is the thing that everybody likes is you can run it defensively or offensively. Well, not defensively, but like a Pokemon which always helps is like I forgot the word in English. Supportive. Supportive.
Yeah, supportive. Yeah, so you've heard of Tornogre? Well, what about Thundertoad? I do believe Thundurus gets Rain Dance. Correct me if I'm wrong again.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Yes, and then Swift Swim. That's a pretty simple combo. Malamar could also just be Malamar. Spam knockoff, spam superpower. Do whatever it is that squids do. I don't know.
Yeah, I think overall, I think the team looks pretty solid. It felt very ground weak when I was looking at it, but we also have like
Two flying types.
Yeah, we have a couple flying. We have like redirection. We have and I think water types are really good against
and
grounds also.
Yeah, and your redirection is a flying type, so
yeah, and that's definitely a big plus too. There's also I don't know if I noticed this when I was ranking the team, but having Misty Terrain and Swagger is kind of nice because you can avoid getting confused that way. So you can Swagger like a Marshadow that's on Misty Terrain, and you get the boost, but you don't get confused, which is kind of a cool combination to have as well.
Or you could do my complex setup where you Swagger and Spectral Thief, and then you get the boost. I get confused.
Yeah, definitely, and that's a cool combination too.
Swagger is just fun in general.
Yeah, so I think that's probably all we'll say about this one, because we have quite a few teams to rank here, so we might need to speed up a little bit. Anyway, so the next team that we have going on here is the Truganina Trevenants. I really hope I said that name right. I've been stumbling with that. Yeah, so this team I thought was pretty cool. Fiak, what do you think about this one?
Well, I do actually like the Magena. Mon is very hard to deal with. It's one of the best mythical, in my opinion. Yeah, and I'm also like the Sun mode of this team. So you have your Maractus and your Torkoal, and Maractus is he really likes to be in Sun and do its stuff. Hitting first is really nice. And I don't know. I see a lot of supportive mon. The Fungus, but I don't know how Fungus works in Sun in this case. And the Mandibus is one of my favorites, Dark types, Lion types, supportive Pokemon. So it have a lot to do. It also get access to Tailwind, weak armor, or it can be very, very bulky.
Another thing with Malamar is it gets Overcoat, so it is immune to Spore, so that's real nice. It's also immune to Stun Spore and Sleep Powder, all those annoying moves. So you can switch it in if you're expecting that, or it could just be immune to it.
Yeah, definitely a nice combination. It has some nice bulk on this team.
I would like to warn anybody who faces this team of the danger of chlorophyll mushroom. It'll be very scary. I mean, it's like base 10 speed will be doubled.
Yeah, I don't know. That'd be a pretty funny combination to have. Yeah, I think this team is kind of cool because it has that sun mode, and it has like a fast sun mode and a slow sun mode, right? So like Trevenant having Harvest means you can always get that berry back every turn, and you can set Trick Room to make your Torkoal really strong. You can set Trick Room to help Nagirna out, to help like Aegislash out. So it has kind of that nice combination of being very fast and also having like a really nice slow mode too. I think one of the things that like makes me potentially a little concerned about this team is that both of the restricted mons are both weak to ground. I think it's kind of nice to have like a combination of like your really high tier mons be not share as many weaknesses, right? So having that ground weakness.
Yeah, this team in general. Yeah, this team has 3 ground resists. One of them is Bandabuzz, which dies to, well, not dies, but is weak to Rock Slide. One of them is Maractus, which is not a real Pokemon. And one of them is Trevenant, which there are a good amount of rock type, ground type that get ways to hit grass and Ghost, so it is something to worry about. Maybe switch something out for a better resist or just a better way of handling one. Both of them could actually be real nice. They switch out Maractus or Thwacky.
Yeah, and I don't necessarily know that they need to switch out anything, but just like a notice in terms of how the team is constructed, that like ground coverage I think just in general looks pretty solid against the team. They do have, was it one? Yeah, they have 1 immunity with the Mandibuzz. And they do have like the double grass types as resists, which is kind of cool. Is there no water type on this team? Wow, I just realized there's no water type on the team. That's kind of crazy. I always think of water as such a strong type.
It is a sun team, but I think that just makes it even more valuable to have fire resist.
Yeah, well, it seems a little weird to have like a sun team but then have double steel types. Like the sun team doesn't support Nagirna at all, so I wonder if there's kind of 2 modes that he's coming into in terms of drafting. Like he wants to have like a sun mode and then also kind of have like a restricted mode with like Nagirna. I don't know. I didn't quite think of that when I was putting this team together and thinking through it.
Yeah, you look at it and you see, okay, yeah, this seems good. There's no weak mon on this team. But then you look at the synergy and see like, okay, so there's like a vague sun core, and there's a vague weak to ground core, and that's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you were going to add something.
No, I was saying that the combination Magearna and the Eternatus, I don't know if Eternatus get Sludge Wave.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
So Eternatus could easily go with the 3 Steel type Pokemon and just spam Sludge Wave everywhere. So if it's found, it's really useful because Fairy types are really common in teams, and it's a nice strategy to just check that. So
another interesting choice is so Dynamax Cannon is we don't have Dynamax, so Dynamax Cannon loses its gimmick, so it's still a really strong Pokemon. 100 is still strong, but you don't get the Dynamax part of the cannon, you just get a cannon.
Yeah, definitely a cool team. Okay, let's look at the next team we got here. So we have the Jersey Venusaurs, and yeah, I don't know what jumps out you for this team, CyberSaber.
Life Card. Life Card jumps out at me. It's an anti-synergy with Psychic Terrain and Liepard, because Liepard is about just being harassing with Prankster, and then Psychic Terrain is going to stop that. So that is anti-synergy. But separately, they're both really strong. I'm not exactly sure where the Psychic Terrain helps this team.
I was preparing for this team because this is my week 1 match, and it has a trick room mode with the Necrozma Dusk Winds. I think it's that.
On wings.
Yeah, down winds. So yeah, and the psychic terrain actually helps Necrozma to hit really hard with the expanding force.
Mm-hmm.
So it's something to take care about. So something that I have to manage. But I'm talking that I have to manage because this is my week 1 match. So I found it like Primarina is a really good mon that works in Trick Room as well. But you have the Pheromosa if you want to make any of those mon faster than anything. You can do it with Pheromosa. You have an Intimidator. You have Fake Outers. I think this thing is very well rounded, actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is a pretty cool team. I think one of the things that I don't like as much about the team is that the Trick Room mode is almost a little too fast, you know? Like, when I think of like a Trick Room mode, you really want to have Pokemon that are in the like kind of very low speed tiers, like the
another thing
30s
I'm noticing is that
or...
this team is going to... Another thing is this team is going to be very weak to Wide Guard. A lot of your damage is coming from multi-target moves with Landorus' Rock Slide, Expanding Force, Sparkling Aria. So yeah, this team can definitely be a little weak to Wide Guard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess that's true too. I mean, they do have some pretty good single target options also. But yeah, Landorus I think in general is has a lot of spread damage options. Yeah, I mean, what I was saying was like the speed tiers in terms of like the slow Trick Room mode. I think Dawnwings is like around 70-ish speed.
Yeah, I can check.
Yeah, and then
77.
Yes, 77.
Yeah, and then it's like some of the slower mons, like I think Turtonator might be the slowest mon here, but I don't know. I think just in thinking about like how the Trick Room mode works, it almost feels like it, like I kind of hesitate to say that like this team wants to be in Trick Room, just because it has like some really fast options with like the Formosa and the Kartana.
Yeah, and I feel like this team would have been a little bit better with Base Rotom over Fan Rotom. I don't see what Fan Rotom offers that regular Rotom doesn't, and then regular Rotom is just faster, so...
Yeah, well, I mean, the Fan Rotom does give you like some more bulky mons, and like there was a difference in price, I think, between the different Rotom swarms, so that could have been the thought process there.
Yeah.
Oh, one thing I don't think we mentioned was like CyberSaber was talking about the Prankster with Psychic Terrain, but one thing to kind of keep in mind with this team is that Lifeheart does have a Burden as an option, so it could go in Burden and have like the almost as though it has Prankster just because it is that fast, without having to worry about losing the effectiveness from Psychic Terrain stopping its own kind of Prankster moves.
Or are there dark types?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's a great point too, actually.
That's a type matchup. I always forget that dark is mean to Prankster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so a pretty cool team. I'm excited to see how this team does this season. Okay, and next we have the Trash Town Thievals with, yeah, I mean, we got the Solgaleo plus Kyurem Black combination, which is pretty sweet. I think when I was originally looking at this team, I thought it looked really weak to Intimidate in particular. Although Solgaleo having that clear body ability is really nice, and the Galarian Zapdos having Defiant is also really good. So maybe this team isn't quite as weak to Intimidate as I first thought. But yeah, definitely a very strong team with having a Trick Room mode with Dusclops and a Azumarill, and then having like a very fast mode with his two sweepers, or not sweepers, I guess, but like a fast mode with Kyurem Black and Solgaleo. So I don't know, what do you guys think about this team?
So the only thing that's not going to be shut down by physical walls is Dusclops, which uses Nightshade, and Mr. Mime. This team is very, 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 very physically heavy. There is 2 special attackers, Mr. Mime and Arcanine. And Kyurem.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah,
even then, those
that's
Pokemon
it.
really want to be physical. What do you think about the Team Fiac?
Well, Mr. Mime wants to be special. Mr. Mime is a natural special attacker. And I've run Special Arcanine on defensive sets with like Heat Wave and Teleport.
Yeah, and I
But
think
yeah.
T-Tac will be a special attacker as well because it has a really good special stat. So, but the normal attack is better. That's why people use it. But I've seen this Tyranitar being special attacker as well. So, and it will caught you off guard. But the only thing that concerns me is that it seems that it has a very good team for hail, but it doesn't have a hail setter. I don't know if Kotani.
Well, but then you'd have 4
hail.
ice types, and that's called throwing.
Yeah.
4 ice types is called throwing.
Yeah, but at least I don't know, maybe Ninetales per change Ninetales for another month, or well, maybe if Kotani has the hail,
It doesn't.
It doesn't. Okay.
It has Sunny Day.
Okay, and Rain Dance, I guess.
Yeah. One thing that could be interesting is to put Arcturus in a Trick Room. Yeah, it is quite slow. It's like base 65. So putting that in Trick Room could definitely be interesting with a signature move with that Fish's Trend.
Definitely. Could be a
Yeah,
cool
that's
combination.
true.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of fast teams, so I'm gonna outspeed you by outslowing you.
Yeah, I think that's definitely an option. Okay, so one thing that's kind of cool for any of our viewers who are familiar with VGC but not necessarily like singles movesets. So Cottony has the option of running Tailwind as well as Prankster, so it's like a mini Whimsicott. Normally in VGC, Cottony does not get Tailwind, but in this league it does, so that's kind of a cool combination as well here. Okay, let's go and take a look at our next team here. So next we have the Sacramento Score Bunny with the Xerneas plus Jirachi as their restricted mythical combo. What do you think about this team, Fiac?
Okay. So at first sight, it looks very solid. So how you can counter a Fairy type with a Steel type and a Psychic type at the same time, it's very hard to do. So he has also screens with a screen support with Klefki, Tailwind support with Talonflame, and Gyarados gets Intimidate, so it's very well-rounded as well. He has a Fake Out option, so he can go as he wants. The only thing that I don't see is like a real Trick Room answer. Most of the mons are pretty fast.
The Trick Room answer is killing them before they get it up.
Yeah, well, that's true. That actually works.
Yeah, sometimes that works really well and sometimes it doesn't.
So that's a really strong Fairy Dragon Steel core. Steel became counting both Jirachi and Klefki, because Screens and Xerneas can get very bulky.
Yeah, I think the team in general
that's
looks
true.
pretty good.
There aren't really any flaws that stick out to me. Except like having a slower Mon, but
Yeah, I agree with Fiac's notice about the Trick Room option. I believe Jirachi gets Trick Room, so it can reverse it. And obviously Jirachi is like a super bulky Pokemon if you want to EV it that way. So like they potentially have the option of reversing it. It might get imprisoned. I don't actually know about that one. But honestly, it doesn't matter too much. I think I mean, like having great options from like having Prankster plus Gale Wings, that's what the move ability I was thinking of with Talonflame. Just like Fiac had mentioned, like the options on this team look pretty strong in terms of like a very strong fast mode. I think they might need to rely on Taunt a little bit to deal with like very bulky Trick Room setters. But like Trick Room looks like the way that this team would have to be countered, and I'm guessing that Dicey's gonna have to play around that quite a bit throughout the season.
Yeah, but thinking about these Trick Room setters, normally, well, most of the Mons are special attackers, so if Xerneas just does Geomancy and is in Trick Room, it will be very, very pleased. So it will be the last one to move, but nobody will be able to move it from there. So the only the only thing that may have concern is like Stack Attack. I don't know if there is an Stack Attack in this league.
I think so. I forget. I don't know. We're gonna look through all the teams, so we'll see.
Yeah. So
I gotta go real quick. I'll be back as soon as I can.
No worries. So we'll continue along, just Fiak and I. I don't know. I don't think there's anything else that I want to add about this team. I think we kind of mentioned all the cool stuff that it can do. So, okay. Next up, we have the Chicago Cinderace with Zygarde and Victini. Ooh, very excited to see Victini. How you feel about this team, Fiak?
Well, Victini, I haven't tried before. I don't know what it offers, but it should be fun. And Zygarde, I like it a lot. I don't like the weakness to Wise, but it is well rounded with Celesteela. So Celesteela Zygarde would be a nice combination. And I like the Intimidate plus Fake Out that Hitmonchan offers, and Sarina, so you can get the priority move against you. So they're pretty... for example, the Spirit Tongue, I've never used it before. I don't know how it works. Victini, I also don't know how it works. But I know that if they're in Trick Room with, well, I don't know with the speed of Victini, but Spirit Tongue can set up Trick Room with Araquanid. Araquanid hits like a truck. It's a very bulky mon, hits hard. And you have Celesteela as well. And then you have Zygarde, which you can run it slow or fast as you want. But those combinations are things that have much to offer offensively, at least.
Yeah, definitely some really cool mons here. I think, okay, so looking at this team, I kind of feel like their fast mode isn't as amazing. Like I think their fastest mon is Nihilego. Yeah, I think the fastest one is Nihilego. And like Raichu is pretty quick too, but it almost feels like this team might rely on Trick Room a little bit more than some of the other teams we've looked at. I don't know, what do you think?
Yeah, that's true. Okay, Spiritomb is like, it is Dark and Ghost, right?
Yep.
So it cannot be taunted by a Prankster user, and actually, and you have it the Sarina as well.
Yeah, we also have Aromatisse. Aromatisse doesn't care about taunt.
The fast mode, I don't know, Victini.
It's 100 speed.
It's 100 speed, so it's fast, medium, fast.
Yeah, so the fast mode feels like it's going to be Nihilego and like kind of Victini in there too. But this team's slow mode looks stronger than the fast mode, I think.
Yeah, the slow mode definitely it's much better. So the only thing is Raichu, but Raichu could offer the fast Fake Out.
Yeah.
And then you can set Trick Room with Raichu and I don't know.
Like a Aromatisse or something.
Yeah.
Then you could even like slow Volt Switch to get in your Trick Room Super for free. That's kind of a cool combination, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, let's look at the next team here. We have the Brooklyn Blastoise, and now this is the 7th team we're looking at for the Manaphy division. So after this, we're going to take a look at the my top 7 list for the Manaphy division. So anyway, let's take a look at this team. What do you think? Actually, hold on. I'm gonna start this one off because this team looks sweet. I want to hype it up a little bit. We got Veltal, Incineroar, Melmetal. That combination looks super cool to me. And then we have like a terrain mode with Drifblim and the Tapu Bulu, so we have some really nice like fast speed controlled there that doesn't care about fake out and is probably faster than most taunt users. So we can get tail up for free. Cresselia, like a super bulky trick room setter to help out our Melmetal. We have like fake out and redirection with the War Turtle, and then like a really powerful breaker with Nidoking. I don't know, I mean, like, everybody knows about Incineroar. If you don't know about Incineroar for VGC, like, this mod is amazing. It's got like Snarl and Intimidate, which are great debuffing options. Parting Shot is amazing to get in your monster free, plus having fake out. I don't know, I thought the team looks really cool. I'm really excited to see how the Kingler and Galvantula do. I don't think I see Kingler used ever really in most leagues I am familiar with, and then Galvantula I'm mostly familiar with from a single standpoint. Okay, all right, Fiak, what do you think about this team? I'm kind of hyped about it.
I'm looking at this and I see Cresselia skill swap with Melmetal and see what happens.
Oh my
so it will
god,
be
that's
very
so cool.
hard, very hard to deal with it.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. That's so hype.
So it's like slow mode, but I don't know. No, Melmetal doesn't have Trick Room. I think so, but you can set Trick Room with Cresselia and then skill swap, and it will be really hard to hit. And then you can come with the Kingler and smash every fire type that tries to mess with Melmetal.
Yeah, definitely.
Actually, Kingler had a there was a very well-known team in BGC not so long ago. It's like a week ago, 3 weeks ago, I don't know. And they were using a King but it's the Dynamax. Yeah, in this case there is no Dynamax.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. But you cannot intimidate Kingler. So that's a good point. That's a good thing.
Yeah, I mean...
but you have the Intimidator, so...
yeah, like one of the best Intimidators in the game, just straight up, yeah. Yeah, I don't know, I think that looks pretty cool.
One of?
It's the best.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think Laters is up there too. But yeah, there's just, the team looks pretty solid overall. Yeah, okay, so let's take a look at the top 7 that I put in here for the Manaphy division, and we'll get some initial responses from Fiak and CyberSaber here.
I missed half the team, so...
That's all good, just based on what you see.
Okay, Blasters.
So just as a quick run through for those who are trying to remember which team was which, the Brooklyn Blastoise was the team we just looked at. That's the Veltal Melmetal team. The Sacramento Score Bunny is the Xerneas Jirachi team. Chicago Cinderace is the Victini Zygarde team. The Truganina Trebonites are the Magearna Eternatus team. Jersey Venusaurs are the Necrozma Dawnwings team. And Trash Town Thievils, that's the Solgaleo plus... What's their other restricted?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, Kieran Black, that's right. And then Barcelona Malamads, that's the Marshadow and Dialga team.
Okay, so I'm going to ignore the Chicago Cinders because they missed them. So I think Jersey Venusaur's Trash Town Thievils, I think can switch. Or Trevenants, I don't know. Jersey was either above or below switch. But I don't remember which one's which. Yeah, I admit.
What do you think, Fiak?
That I agree.
I'm actually surprised that Jersey Venusaur is that slow, because I think that they have a lot to offer with the Landorus 3 and the Dustwind, the Downwings, Necrozma. So maybe I put it a little bit higher. But actually, looking at Truganina, Trevenants, Chicago Cinderace, it's really hard. So it's like a 5th position, but not feeling like the low position.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like the bottom half, right? Like, the team looks really good.
It feels right. So actually, all the teams are really nice. And the one that
just means all the teams are really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or all the teams are really bad.
Yeah.
I'll go with the first one.
No. Yeah, all the teams are really good. And it's fair that Barcelona Malamats is the last, since Barcelona Malamats has 4 trades for the first week, so I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I kind of wish that I'd had the time this week to make the team based on your transactions rather than what you had. But I felt like the team was just too weak to ground, and I think you fixed that with some of your trades. But I think
That is a trend of teams being weak to ground.
Yeah, I mean, that definitely happens. But just in terms of... Because I thought the team looked really good, too. Like, I'm really excited for the Marshadow Toga Castialga core. Like, I think that's going to be super cool this season. But it just felt a little bit weaker than some of the other options that other teams had. And that's not to say it's bad, right? Like, I talk about those 3 Pokemon. Like, that sounds really fun to use. But yeah, I think talking through this with... both of you, I'd probably move the Truganina Trevenants down a little bit. I don't think I noticed some of the weaknesses that we talked about in terms of like the fire mode with Magearna and like Duraludon and so and Aegislash, right? They have triple steel types, and then the double weakness to like all of those Pokemon being weak to ground. So like there's kind of a, in terms of prepping against it, it's like bring ground, and I think that team is going to be forced to bring like their Maractus and their Trevenant on a regular basis to kind of counteract that ground weakness. And like that's not to say that that's a bad idea, but those Pokemon are lower tiered for a reason, they're not the strongest options that the team has, and so there might be a little bit more reliance on some of the low tier options. So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
I think so. So maybe switch your Venusaurus with Truganina.
Yeah, I could see something like that. I'd have to look through the teams again and remind myself of which ones were which. But yeah, that's probably something I would consider, and maybe for all of you, thinking about what order you would place these teams in. I don't know. What do you? Okay, so if you are watching right now, pause real quick right here and take a look at the different 7 teams. If you need to go back in the video, definitely do that. But what would you put as your top 7 for the Manaphy of Spades? And let me know in the comments down below. All right, well, we're going to start on the Celebi. What's that?
Put them all in the top 7.
Yeah, exactly. And okay, so we're going to take a look at the Celebi of Clubs now. So we'll go the 7 teams that are here, and then at the end we'll look at the top 7 and how they fit for that team. Okay, so first off, this so the EV Lights actually had the first pick in this particular draft, and went with Groudon, which I think is the strongest restricted mythical option in that our draft had available to us. One thing I don't think I mentioned, but our group decided to ban Zacian Crowned as well as Kyogre. This is actually the first season that we've ever had a group decide that they wanted to ban any Pokemon. But yeah, like having Kyogre gone, I thought made Groudon look a lot stronger. So anyway, this is the team that he has here. What do you think about this team, Fiak?
Well, this actually looks like a lot on my previous season team. With Groudon, Entei, Cherin, and Sherinja. At least those this is Edison, and they managed to get me to the semifinals, and I lost to EV Lights actually. So that's good to see this kind of team, the Sun team. I really like them. And I don't know. Zapdos is a really good support, and some it will add some counters to the water types that may come. And yeah, and then you have a Blastoise as well. We can show Smash. Blastoise will be very hard to deal with. You bring this, so everyone is expecting to for you to come with your Sun team, and then you just lead with Clefairy and Blastoise, and you will have a hard time beating that. leading with that and changing everything in your team, in your play. How do you say it? What do you prepare for? Your
You're prepping.
So
Yeah,
it has a really good options.
This is one of the best Sun teams I've ever seen. I'm gonna say it.
Yeah, it's definitely
Sun
very strong.
teams, at least, some teams, at least in my opinion, are really hard to build. And this is like a really good Sun team. I think Blastoise is one of the best water types to put on a Sun team, just because it doesn't necessarily need it to be offensive, but it can be if it wants to. So if Sun is not particularly good one matchup, you bring Shell Smash Blastoise, and you have to sweep. One thing that somebody else pointed in chat after the draft is that Zapdos' only flying type move is Hurricane, which is 50% accurate in Sun. So that might be a little bit of a problem, but they'll manage, I'm sure.
I think no, it doesn't get air lash. You're right.
Yeah, it's definitely a weakness of Zapdos on some teams, but I agree with the idea of it's more there to counter like potential water types than it is to be a flying type.
Yeah.
So it's almost like an electric type that's immune to ground. I kind of think of that as how it works on this team.
Yeah.
And
So then your team building, you notice that Sun is not particularly good, so they'll bring Blastoise, but then no, they bring Frostmoths with Quiver Dance.
yeah, that's definitely a cool setup option as well. I don't think one thing we hadn't mentioned yet is because this is with transfer moves, Blastoise also has Follow Me, so there's double Follow Me users on this team, we have some we have some Pokemon that are weak to water types, and so having Blastoise as a way to redirect those moves away from your Groudon and your Entei, like that's a nice combination to have.
Well, yeah.
And if this team had enough of thing to prep for, there's Choice Band, Urshifu, and Ditto.
Yeah, and there's some there's some great combinations that don't care about Sun too. So definitely a cool team.
Yeah, so I don't know how he managed to get this draft, but he did it quite nice.
Yeah, I think it looks very strong as well.
So I'm curious to see how they did it, because Ditto is a Pokemon they use really well or really horribly.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's based on what you're playing up against, right? It's
Well,
yeah, I don't know. It's a cool.
well, no, not just like when you bring, but also like how you play it. I feel like it can be used well or badly, and there's no in between.
Yeah. Okay, let's take a look at the next team here. So next up we have the Middle Village Pie Devs, and so here's that stack attacker that you were wondering about, Biak.
Yeah, this is the only thing that can beat the Xerneas in the end.
Yep.
Which was the team?
It was the Xerneas and Jirachi team. That was the Sacramento Square Bunny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think this is a pretty cool team. Like the Trick Room mode looks very good. The fast mode looks very good. They kind of have the, I think they have. So they have the fastest Pokemon in Regieleki, and I think Stakataka might be the slowest, like fully evolved Pokemon.
Yeah, it's like Shuffle, I think. But
oh right, I forgot about that one. But okay, the strongest, the strongest super slow Pokemon. I'm gonna go with that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so they have a very good mode in terms of being fast and slow. So one thing that the Stakataka being like super weak to ground, like and having the Rillaboom to cover that weakness is a really nice combination with this team. And then having the fighting weakness covered by Lunala is a really nice combination as well. I thought that was a cool
almost interfering types, but Slowpoke.
Yeah, yes. I mean, I don't know about Slowpoke. Maybe there's some kind of way that Oldrum is going to use it this season, but I'm not sure if I don't know what that Pokemon's going to do. Like this is a really high power league, and we got a Slowpoke on the team. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know about that one.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. They'll figure.
Yeah.
Maybe John. I think
oh
you can
my
John
god.
somebody.
Yep. But yeah, like having Landorus I think is really cool too. So this is one of the teams that only has one restricted or mythical Pokemon. But if you're any familiar with singles at all, for any of our watchers, like, I mean, Landorus I is like uber tier in singles because of how hard it hits. So in terms of how good it is in just as a Pokemon in general, especially in a non-Dynamax format, having Sheer Force Life Orb with all of its variety of coverage being physical or special, yeah, I mean, it's going to hit really hard. And I like Landorus I on this team more than I would Landorus T because of that like higher special attack and having Earth Power as that ground option. I think that's a cool combination to have.
So one thing I'm noticing is this team doesn't really have any double target spread moves. The only thing I'm noticing off the top of my head is Electro was Red Yeleki. And that's it. I don't think they're going to be running Expanding Force Lunala.
Oh, well, they have some spread moves also, like Stack Attack has Rock Slide, so does Landorus.
Oh, yeah.
So there are some spread moves on this team. Maybe not as much as some of the other teams we've seen in the past, but I think they exist.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stack Attack plus Lunala feels like a really solid combination of mons. I'm really excited to see how Roll Rummy uses those two this season, because we have like
think of stuff to say, and I can't think of anything to say.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a pretty cool team. I really like it. So okay, let's go and take a look at the next team then. So we have the Manila Braveries, and yeah, we have a Calyrex plus a Rayquaza as the restricted duo. I remember when I first looked at this team that it felt very much like it felt like they wanted to Dynamax. You know, like I almost think that they drafted this team with the thought process of like, oh man, I can use like G-Max Colossal and like look at all these cool combinations of Pokemon I have with it. You know, like Surf Sneasel, Aqua Jet, Golduck. I have my Gastrodon to protect my G-Max Colossal, and yeah, and then I don't know, maybe they forgot it wasn't Dynamax or G-Max.
Oh my god, that's true.
Doesn't it feel like that? I don't know. It just feels like that just from that combination.
It does.
Yeah. I see this in the season 11.
Right. Yeah.
It's like a season 11 team. A Trick Room season 11 team with a fast mode with Colossal. Something like that.
Yep. But I mean, just in terms of like, if I think about this team from the standpoint of without Dynamax, then like the Colossal feels kind of weak to me because like we have ways of like triggering Steam Engine or a weakness policy, but it's gonna hurt so much. Like those water moves are gonna get hurt so much. The triggering mode for this team looks good.
Chestoberry. Just use Chestoberry. Or use Vulpix.
I think Colossal will work as a switch.
Either use a water move and stun, or just ignore the weakness policy and just activate with Vulpix with a fire move.
I haven't seen the Vulpix. So they have like a sun mode, but they have Rayquaza and this dragon.
They have Trampa. Yeah.
So they will switch off the sun.
Yeah.
They kind of have like triple Cloud 9 Pokemon, right? Because Golduck plus Trampa plus Rayquaza, like I don't know, it's a little interesting from that standpoint. Their Trick Room mode looks really good though. Like Porygon 2 plus Calyrex Ice, like that's a nice combination of mons right there.
Yeah.
How long did it take us to talk about the Calyrex and Porygon?
Yeah, Porygon it doesn't need to talk about it. So Porygon can just Porygon win again because it will become unbeatable, undefeatable.
Yep.
So you just Trick Room with one of them, and there's nothing you can do actually.
Oh yeah, and then indeed male gets Trick Room, so you could put Calyrex in Psychic Terrain, and that Zen Headbutt is gonna hurt.
Yeah, it's gonna do a lot of damage.
Yeah, and I like the Darmanitan actually. This Darmanitan get access to Substitute and Belly Drum. So only left if he gets a follow me user, he could use this Termalitan pretty well. So
I think this is the one VGC team where Indeedee male is better than Indeedee female.
yeah.
I could see that, yeah. Yeah, one thing I want to point out about the Porygon 2 is because we are allowing the expanded moveset, there's a lot more Pokemon with knockoff, which makes Porygon 2 a little bit weaker, but honestly, even without
It's
GD,
still
like, the
Porygon
Pokemon
2.
is... Yeah, it's still very bulky.
Yeah.
But it's kind of just something I want to point out for people who are watching, so that they kind of have that in their mindset as well when they think about this team.
So, is the G-Darm allowed Guerrilla Tactics?
Yeah, it can do either one, but I just like this sprite more, so that's the one I decided to use.
I see.
Yeah, it can be either one. Yeah, so the Pokemon hits really hard.
You decided you like Frosty the Snowman more than the Gorilla?
Exactly. Alright, let's go and take a look at the next team here. So next up is the Vegas Volcaronas, and we have the restricted and mythical combination of Calyrex Shadow and Volcanion.
This team.
Remember how we
is
just talked about
scary.
Calyrex? Let's do it again.
Yeah. Yeah, then this
side
is...
spam team.
Exactly, yeah. They
Spam
have that
team.
option.
Let's move on. It's a side spam team. That's all we need to know.
I mean, the team has like a nice combination of bulk and like physical. Oh, do they have a lot of physical attackers? I guess they do. They have like Mian Shao,
Escavalier,
Yeah, they have a lot.
Arcturus.
Yeah, they totally do. And then like some really good special attackers with the Volcanion and the
Here's
Calyrex
something
Shadow.
to be
And
interesting.
Galerates.
Here's something to be interesting. Choice Specs Hapulele with Instructor and Guru spamming Expanding Force sounds brutal.
Yes, that would be very strong. Definitely very strong. Yeah, and actually, it's a good point. The Instruct combination with Oranguru is pretty cool too. And they do have some good bulk also. Like, I like Umbreon on the team. Volcania is also really bulky as a Pokemon as well, which is pretty cool.
I am questioning why I'm seeing a Pelipper.
Yeah, you know, when I looked at this team too, I wasn't quite sure about the Pelipper for this team. Like, maybe the idea is they want the rain to increase the power of their Volcanion moves, but there isn't like a Swift Swim abuser on the team, or some kind of like a rain dish even. Like, we don't really have that as an option here. Like, maybe the idea is to set rain so our Scavalier is a little bit safer, but I don't know. I'd rather have like a combination or a mon that is like explicitly taking advantage of the rain in like a not just type changing kind of standpoint, you know?
Well, actually, this Pelipper
seems
has. Oh, sorry. Okay. I was trying to say that the Pelipper get access to Tailwind and get access to Wildcard. So
those are very good. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes
So
sense.
those are good move to protect.
Okay, so what I'm noticing, they drafted Calyrex and then hyper-focused on making sure Calyrex can succeed. They got Psychic Terrain for it, they got Instruct for it, they got Battery for it, that's Charger Bug's ability, it just makes your moves stronger. They got Fake Out support for it, they got more Psychic types than is needed. Got enough Psychic types for the entire league.
Yeah, and then we have Umbreon that switches in on the moves that hit Calyrex really nicely. So like, there's that really nice easy switch in. So if you are afraid of a move that's coming,
Ally switch.
Yep. And if you have a mon that you're scared about being able to hit Calyrex, then Umbreon's a really easy switch in to take care of pretty much any of those attacks. So like, I like that combination of mons. Looks pretty
There's two changes I would make. That's switching Lele for Indeedee, but that's already taken, and then switching Pelipper, but that seems like a bit out there, but I guess Tailwind.
Yeah, I mean, if you kind of talked me into that mon, I think it does have some good options here, and then having that kind of side effect of helping your Scavalier is kind of nice. So I kind of dig it. I like it a little bit more than when I first thought about it. But their slow mode, I think, looks very good, as well as having Calyrex Shadow as a really good fast mode. And I don't even know, you don't need any more mods besides Calyrex Shadow to have a good fast mode.
Yeah, it's a really good size fan team. I do wish it had like options that aren't Calyrex. I mean, like Escavalier is good, Arcturus is good, but I mean Calyrex.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a pretty cool team. I think it has a good combination of physical and special attack.
I mean, I say that, but I just had a draft. I drafted Mega late, and that was like, I didn't really have other offensive threats. I guess what am I saying?
Yeah, I don't know. Very very cool team. There are some ways to support that Calyrex to make it much stronger, and then there are some ways to support the Volcanion.
There's every way to support that Calyrex.
Yeah. Anyway, let's take a look at this next team. Oh, this was mine. Yeah, so Sacramento Sandslash. Okay, I'll give a brief overview of... No, never mind. I'll save it for when I do my draft analysis. I'll let the two of you mostly talk about how this team works and what you think about it.
Okay. Because you have Palkia, which is one of the better restricted when there is no Kyogre. So the best option of water restricted, I mean. So you have T-Bull with Terrain and Burden can be exploited there. You actually have a counter to Intimidate or with the Articuno. You have Whimsicott, which is basically giving you a speed control always with Trick Room or Tailwind, if you like it. The Trick Room mode with Palkia, it looks very very nice. You have the baby Incineroar as well. So in synergy, it looks really nice. So I like that you have, for example, you have your Necrozma Dusk main, and if you are being, if you have you're playing against a ground type opponent or ground type Pokemon, you can switch in to Rotten Wash, for example, and you will be immune to its weakness. So it's a really nice team, and they can just strike back with Palkia and something like that. So it looks like it can work, and I don't know what's the idea behind Buffaland, because I've never used that mon, so I don't know how it could work. But for sure, there should be a plan.
Okay, so it's a buffalo. It hits you with an arrow, and hopefully it hurts. Okay, yeah, let's explain all the mods on here. So Palkia, it has a tail, and it hits you with a tail, and the tail's wet, and that hurts. Tapu Koko, it hides into its shell and sends that electric stuff at you, and I don't know, like when you stick a fork into an apple, that's what it feels like. And then Rotom Wash cleanses you of all of the bad stuff in you, and clearly that's all of you, and therefore you die. Okay, now just being mean.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm looking forward to using this team this season. Like I said, when I put out my draft analysis, I'll talk more about the team and what I'm excited about.
The team looks very fun. Can I take over the team? It looks very fun.
Yeah, I think it'll be a good one to use this season. Okay, let's go and take a look at our next team here. This is the Utah Muse. And we have Mew, right? So drafting the mascot first round, which is very exciting. And then Zekrom as the other restricted mythical mon. So very cool combination of mons up there. I think that'll be pretty cool to see this season.
Yeah, so first thing you know, this team has a lot of coverage. I mean, got Mew, and you'll get like a lot of coverage. It has a lot of coverage. Don't tell me it doesn't have coverage.
Yeah, it definitely does. Like, it's got access to pretty much everything. So there's the option of having Trick Room, there's the option of having Tailwind, and then basically all the other different moves that it has access to. Yeah.
Yeah, nah. I have the best Mew set here. It is Soft Boiled, Recover, Roost, and Dragon Dance.
You know, I don't think I realized this when I was first looking at this team, but Mew is actually their fastest Pokemon. Which is very
not good.
Yeah, that makes for a very slow team. So this team might rely on Trick Room a lot, but they also kind of have some mons that are kind of in that like high mid-speed tier, like Lucario, Zekrom, Kangaskhan. Mimikyu works well with Trick Room, like we've seen that in all sorts of different seasons and whatnot, but it's actually fairly quick. It's like 90 something speed. So, and plus a couple 80 speed pawns. Actually, hold up. Is their slowest Pokemon is Galarian Slowking? And then the next one after that is Sylveon at like 60 speed. So this is a very mid-speed team.
I think Mimikyu is the next slowest.
No, Mimikyu is like a 90 base speed.
Maybe
Mimikyu's
Magmortar.
90?
Yep.
Oh wow, I thought Mimikyu was slower.
No, those are the fake slow mons like Dialga and Solgaleo. Those are fake slow mons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
People use them slow, but they are not slow.
Right. Yeah, you tend to invest a lot of bulk in them, so they end up feeling like they're slower. But yeah, Mimikyu's pretty quick. But yeah, so this team is very mid-speed. They do have like a lot of versatility though. So like Mew obviously having the insane coverage that it does, and then Savali being like a mini Mew, being any typing, and so having that coverage.
Savali is a mini Arceus, and Arceus is a mini Mew but strong.
Yeah. I think in general, I thought this team was pretty weak to ground though. So like having several Pokemon aside from your restricted mon kind of sharing that same weakness means that
just use Magnetize Mew.
Yeah, that's fine. They can use Magnetize Mew. But the Zekrom, Lucario, Galarian Slowking, Magmortar, like a couple of mons that are going to be weak to ground on this team. Oh, okay, hold on. I don't think I remembered to say this, but the Magmortar, because we're allowing old movesets, Magmortar has Follow Me, which is kind of a neat option here for the team.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know that, so I have to look for those new Follow Me users.
Yeah.
Okay. This team has like a lot of psychic coverage. I mean, Mew, obviously, Slowking, Sylveon gets Psychic Shock, Savali Psychic, Magmortar. Does Mimikyu get some Headbutt?
I don't know.
Yeah, but yeah, it has a lot of psychic coverage, so I don't know, I guess fighting types beware.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, fighting types don't look particularly good against this team, just from the looking at team preview, because there are like double psychic, double fairy types. But like I wouldn't look at psychic against this team. I'd look at ground against this team, and that feels pretty simple. Maybe the Savali will have to be like a grass type or like a flying type. On a fairly regular basis, just to help support that weakness. So there's the option for the team to kind of fight against that weakness, but just from a general like typing standpoint, the team has that a way for people to play against it.
It also has one of the best disruptive mon that are in BGC right now, which is Melodic, because it can be very, very hard to deal with. He can put everything to sleep. He can become unbeatable with the coil and the combination coil and hypnosis. If you can get around towns, will be very useful to support your team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you can actually make the other. Yeah, if you are trying to run a speed Zekrom, a speedy Zekrom, you can actually control or have speed control with Icy Wind and this month. So I think the Melodic will have a lot to offer to this team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, another thing is it has a lot of Pokemon that's set up, which is not something you usually do in VGC. Mimikyu, Sylveon, Milotic, Zekrom, Lucario to an extent, Mew on some sets. A lot of Pokemon that's set up, and have really good setup sets, but in VGC that just feels like suboptimal to have so many on one team.
If you have Follow Me Magmortar, everything's solved.
There you go.
Yeah, and also again, just being like, the speed here is just again, not very good. If you can just hit cancel their Trick Room or just out Trick Room them, then they should be fine.
Yeah, I think looking to set up, or not set up, for prepping for this team, I mean, I just don't know if I would even care about speed control to a certain extent, just because, like, if you have fast mons, like, you're going to beat this team from a speed standpoint. If you have very slow mons, you're going to beat this team from a speed standpoint. So, like, the necessity of having speed control feels a little bit less than some of the other teams we've looked at.
Yeah, or you could just outstop. If you have a bulky mod, you could just outbulk the Trick Room and then beat them with fast Pokemon.
Yeah, I'd be a little concerned about trying to outbulk this team, though, because as much as the team is kind of mid-speed, it's also super bulky. From, like, the Milotic that Fiak was talking about, Mew has, like, a lot of bulk on it. Kangaskhan is pretty bulky. Galarian Slowking's pretty bulky. So, like, they have some pretty good bulk on this team. I don't know if that would be how I'd try to fight this team. So.
Well, not outbulk, just outbulk their 4-turn Trick Room.
Yeah, I hear you. You being able to stall it out. Yeah. Okay, let's go and take a look at, I think this is our last team? It is. This is the last team that we're going to look at here. So this is the Bristol Bewares, and we have Mewtwo plus Mewtwo. Yep, that's our restricted mythical mon. But of course they have some really good strong options with Dragapult is an Uber in some singles leagues depending on where you look, and so yeah, some other strong options. What do you think about this team, CyberSaber?
So I know Beware did really well in week 1, and I'm excited to see that video because Beware is not thing usually considered really strong.
Yeah, it's surprisingly bulky. It's got some pretty, like, solid. I think its HP stat is insane. If I remember correctly.
Hey, look at this team, and yeah, it's really bulky. Yeah, Beware has Fluffy, Mammothmine with Stick Fats, Suicune being Suicune, Grimmsnarl with double screens. Heatran is also quite bulky. Mewtwo can be quite bulky. Yes, this team can definitely pack a lot of bulk, and Sableye with Will-O-Wisp and Recover.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely some cool options there. The double Prankster users are pretty neat. I kind of wonder how much we need both of them on the team, but perhaps they fill different roles. I'm not 100% sure about that part.
Yeah, no, Grimmsnarl is a screen setter and could also do bulk up and just be offensive. And then Sableye is annoying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Sableye is probably like the more prankster-ish mon, whereas Grimmsnarl has a little bit more flexibility. So maybe the idea behind having both of them is that by having Sableye, it frees up our Grimmsnarl to play around with different sets a little bit more than you would normally see. So that's a cool combination.
Yeah, actually...
Yeah, I just had... This team is really bulky, and then you look and you see it has Dragapult and Mewtwo, and Mammothmine and Heatran, and Electivire is really, really strong as well. Offensively.
Yep, definitely agree there.
I think that the idea behind drafting Sableye and Grimmsnarl is not to face them.
That's not a bad idea at all.
Yeah, it's like, I got Grimmsnarl and you won't have Sableye, or the other way around.
Yep. The underrated draft strategy. Actually, one thing I do think is kind of cool about having both of them is that, in general, I think this team looks a little weak to Trick Room. Their team is, in general, pretty quick, so having Sable as like a quash option gives you that speed control in Trick Room, which could be kind of the reason there. But then we also have screens to fight against some of those Trick Room teams, so we can outbulk them by using screens, which is definitely a cool combination to have as well.
Also, about what you said, I had somebody, they were in a draft, and they said, I drafted Magearna because I don't want to face Magearna.
Shoot, I'm going to draft Magearna because I want to play Magearna.
Yes, that's legit.
I drafted Magearna because I want Magearna. So I drafted Magearna so nobody else gets it.
That's legit, so you can do it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, so in our conversation about unusual follow me users, Electivire also has follow me, so this team has that option on the team as well that a lot of other teams would not be able to do.
Hello and welcome to Unusual Moves. Today we're talking about follow me Electivire.
Yep. So they have that as an option, which is pretty interesting.
Whoa.
But it gives you an option to set up with something. So like maybe you just need one turn of follow me so that your Mewtwo can nasty plot and then kill everything because that Pokemon, along with Psystrike and being a special attacker, hits everything.
Or you follow me and then Grimmsnarl can bulk up. Whatever.
Yeah, so a lot of cool options on this team.
Or Dragapult can Dragon Dance. Or Coughing can boom.
Yeah, there you go.
Shut down your prankster.
Yeah, so definitely a cool team. Look forward to seeing how it does. So this is actually one of our, I think he's going to be making some more content. You mentioned about Beware doing pretty well in week 1. So definitely keep an eye out for this team. I noticed that they post their stuff on Reddit. So if you're on the Pokemon Draft League subreddit, then you can check out the Bristol Bewares when they post their team or matches there. And if you'd like to see some
server,
exactly, you can also join the server, and then you can see some of the different content creators that we have. We have a couple for this league as well, and so this one they've already put their video out for their week 1 match. I watched it; it was a lot of fun to watch. Yeah, so I'm excited to see how this team does.
To watch it.
Yeah, it'll be fun to watch some more content creators for TGR. We don't always have very many of them, but it's always fun to watch when we do.
I don't know. Maybe we need to do a server-wide watch party.
Hey, that might be a cool idea. Yeah. So definitely check the description for links to the... I might have links to coaches, but I'll definitely have one to the server, and when our coaches post stuff, you'll find it in the content creation channel. So, okay, so that was the last of the Celebi of Clubs teams. So now let's take a look at how I ranked them from 1st down to 7th for the Celebi of Clubs, and then I have the Manaphy of Spades on there too.
Yeah, it's Bristol Beware's first just because of Beware.
Yeah, that's right. They also have the mascot pick. Okay, let me run through this one, just kind of like how I did the other one, so you can get a sense for which team was which. So the Bristol Bewares, that was the Mewtwo team that we just saw. The Eviolites is the Groudon team. The Crazy Sun team. The Middle Village Pydoves, that's the... which team was this? Oh, this was the Lunala team. With like the Terrain and Stakataka. Yeah, Lunala Stakataka. That's the combination I thought was pretty cool for that team. The Vegas Volcaronas is the Calyrex Shadow Volcanion team. The Sacramento Sandslash, that was my team. That's the Palkia Necrozma Duskmane team. The Utah Muse is the... Oh shoot, which team was that? Oh, that was the Mew Zekrom team, of course. And then the Manila Braveries, that's the Calyrex Ice Calyrex Ice team. Plus Rayquaza, I think they have Rayquaza as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you look at the EVL by like that Sun team, that crazy Sun team, and you right second, you see, oh god, there's a lot of powerful teams down here.
Yeah, I actually put EVL first, and the second one the Calyrex Shadow. My problem with Bristol Bewares, the problem with Bristol Bewares is that I don't like Mewtwo as much. So I know that Mewtwo can be very strong, but it also has a lot of counters, and it's not that bulky. So that's the only reason that I don't have Bristol Bewares in the first place.
You fought a combined Mewtwo before.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, actually, on season 1, I was smashed by a Mewtwo. Now that I remember, from Lucian Flash.
Yeah, he had a crazy Mewtwo. I think that one beat me too. He had like that was when we had Dynamax for that league. But yeah, that team was crazy. A lot of respect for Mewtwo after that league.
Yes. And well, that's the only reason why I don't have it in my first position, but Eviolites. And the second one, I think Vegas Volcarona is the one with the Calyrex Shadow, right? So I think they are going to be my first and second place.
Yeah, I remember ranking like the first 4 teams. Like I think I looked at those and was like, okay, these feel like the top 4 teams. Okay, how do I sort them? And I just like the Bristol Bewares, the Mewtwo plus all of the really strong options that went along with it. I thought the team looked pretty solid. But yeah, like the Vegas Volcaronas, obviously I have them in the top 4. But yeah, the team also looks really good. I think I had that one a little bit lower because I felt a little weird about the Pelipper, but after our conversation, I definitely moved that team up a little bit higher on my power rankings.
Yeah. And as with the Manaphy Space League division, the 5th place, 6th place, and 7th place doesn't feel like lower places, but I don't know. It's just that the
so this season are really strong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
except for the Barcelona Malamads, they suck.
Whoa.
Nah, okay.
Wait. Actually, you can say this because the half of the team have been traded, so.
Yeah, you made some adjustments to it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and wrap things up here. So as you can see from the graphic, we have the Manaphy of Spades and the Celebi of Clubs. We talked about those 14 teams today, and that was one drafting group. The other drafting group was the Mew of Hearts and the Jirachi of Diamonds. So there are 14 more teams that we're going to have a chance to talk about in a different video. So I'll have that one coming out on the channel at some point, probably very soon after you see this one. And you'll see the power rankings for those as well. I want to talk a little bit about the organization of the league just from a standpoint here. The Manaphy of Spades, Celebi of Clubs, those groups drafted together. The Mew of Hearts, Jirachi of Diamonds, those groups drafted together. So they'll play everyone that's in their division, plus they'll have a handful of crossover matches throughout the season. So going to be very excited to see how these teams look and how they play, and the different content creators is going to be pretty fun to see as well. So yeah, I think that we'll call things and wrap things up right here. If you'd like to see some more, go ahead.
So I don't know. We did this last season where me and Fiak gave our own listings, and I don't know if Fiak wants to do that if he has time. I think I will. I'll send it to you. You can put it at the end of the video.
Yep. Yeah, I can add that in. We talked a little bit about how we'd order things, but yeah, I could probably add the graphic in here as well.
Yeah. So if you want to see mine and Fiak's listings, I guess you can. Stick around for like a minute.
I mean, I'll probably edit it in while we're talking about it right here. So, yeah, we'll go and call things here.
Yeah, they can watch to the end.
Yeah, if you'd like to see some more of our content here, or if you'd like to join the Discord server to check out the other content creators we have, definitely check the description. Stick around, like, subscribe, and all that stuff. And we'll catch you on the next one.